It's a great pleasure today for me to introduce you to Jane Doyle. Jane has been part of the South Australian media landscape for more than 30 years now. She's an accomplished print journalist before moving to radio and television. Jane has presented 7 News for over 30 years. She is passionate about arts and community and chairs Carclu's SA Peak Youth Arts Body. She's also patron of the Mental Illness Community Fellowship of South Australia, ambassador for Impact 100, patron of the Flinders Medical Centre Foundation, and a cabaret festival advocate. She does quite a lot. I've known Jane for a couple of years now, as Jane is a supporter of the Salvos, and annually Jane MCs our Red Shield Appeal launch. Now, this year, of course, we couldn't have a Red Shield Appeal launch, and Jane was saying earlier this is her first MC type role today for the year because of COVID. I've seen Jane interview a few of our very nervous clients at our launches, and she has a lovely ability to make the person she interviews feel at ease, and I've seen her do this again just today, and I've seen her say the same thing to our clients. It's just a conversation between you and I. Let's forget about all the rest of them. So we're very privileged to be able to just sit in the conversation between Jane and Heidi. She's graciously made herself available today to interview Heidi, and we look forward to hearing Heidi's story as Jane chats to her. Rotarians, please welcome Jane Doyle.
Now it is.
I'll let Jane have a bit of a chat with you while I just set up something on the computer, and we're just going to move the podium aside as well so that you can see.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry I didn't step up. I was a bit slow getting up here, but as it is the first event really for me for 2020, I can't think whether I did one at the beginning of the year, but COVID's just taken over our lives, hasn't it? It's just sort of overwhelmed us all, and so I think this is probably the first time I've had high heels on for some time. And ladies, you and some gentlemen may, in their private moments, know what I'm enduring. So I wasn't game to try and step directly onto the podium because I thought I might fall over, and I'll probably be crippled by the time I walk back to my car. You get out of practice. But it's great to be back at the Rotary Club of Adelaide, and I'm really thrilled to be in this beautiful room because last time the Oval hadn't been redeveloped, and I was a guest of Tony Pilkington, who I'm delighted is here today now that he's swanned off and become a member in Brisbane. But it's great to see Tony and some other familiar faces around the club, and congratulations on keeping the Rotary Fellowship going through the most difficult of times. But aren't we all glad that we're in South Australia? Aren't we lucky to be in South Australia when so many other parts of the world and even our country are really struggling with the I'm glad that wasn't my instrument. Is it all right? Yes. Okay. It's just terrifying to imagine being in somewhere like an India or a Philippines or Bangladesh with this virus raging, and I can't help but quote, trying to think of what I'll call him, the man who's leading allegedly the free world, when he claimed yet again the other night that really it's nothing to worry about in the United States of America because they're just doing so much testing, and you know, if we only did half the testing we'd only have half the cases. I found myself in the studio screaming at the television monitor that sits below the camera saying, "You idiot, you'd have exactly the same number of cases, you just wouldn't know about it." Seriously, one wonders. Anyway, on to happier occasions, and my job today is to help you get to know Heidi a little bit better, and so I've got some notes because I've got to know her a little bit better. But welcome, Heidi, and congratulations on your elevation to being the second only woman President of Rotary Club of Adelaide. Congratulations. And to have Bev here today is a great acknowledgement as well of the strength of this club. So lovely to see you, Bev. And congratulations, Heidi. What on earth made you think it was a good idea?
Okay, that wasn't one of the questions I gave you,
Wasn't
Jane.
the first question, no. No, this is a conversation, but we'll get to those. So why?
Okay.
Why did you want to be, or why did you put yourself forward to be president?
First of all, I was asked, which was a real privilege and a real honour. When I was asked, I did think to myself, because I'd been on the board for a number of years and I saw just how much work it was to be president. It's really a full-time job. It's a pretty big club, and to witness what past presidents have done over the years has been a real eye-opener to me. However, I knew I could do it if I just managed my time, because I do work full-time, and if I had the best team of people around me. And so that was really crucial, to get the best board, 2 brilliant vice presidents and a treasurer and a secretary. So that's important. And really, I'm the type of person that hasn't said no too often in my life. I think when you get these opportunities, if it's something you're passionate about, that you should embrace it. And while Rob Faulkner, who's here now, was the president at the time who asked me, I did say, give me a couple of months, didn't I, to think about it? Because obviously at a time in my life where my career is very important, I didn't want I had to think about that as well, because I wanted to do this job to the best of my ability. And if I could, I would do Rotary full-time. I love it that much.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, I'm just going to ask you to move your chair around a little bit so your Rotarians and guests up that end can see you when you're talking. And also, excuse me, it takes us away. Oh, I'm probably in the way for some of you, but I hope you can see the screen. Now, I don't think that's you, but I suspect that that's your mum and dad. Migrants, both, but not from the same country. Mum was from England, Birmingham. Where was Dad from?
Dad was from Fonyod, Hungary, and as a young boy went to Germany and Austria to escape the war and persecution, and they both came to Adelaide as my dad as a refugee, my mum as a migrant. 10 pound pom.
She was a 10-pound pom. Dad was a refugee, and they both landed in Adelaide.
Dad landed in New South Wales first of all, and went to Bonagilla, and Mum went to the Pennington,
right?
And but both, then Dad and his family moved to Adelaide.
And that's when they met. How did they meet?
My mum was a nurse at the Royal Adelaide Hospital, and my dad was an orderly.
He was a what? Sorry,
an orderly at the Royal Adelaide
hospital.
Hospital. Yes,
So
and his sister also worked at the hospital, and that's how my mum and dad met. Yeah.
Did Dad have English when he came to Australia, or did he have to learn it on the go?
He had to learn it. Yeah. Yes. So
it would have helped having an English girlfriend.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. But Mum very much became a good Hungarian wife, to tell you the truth.
Did she?
Learnt how to cook all the Hungarian meals, and because her family actually went back to England. And she stayed because she met my dad.
Because she met and fell in love with Dad?
So she was the only one from her family that stayed. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And they went on to have... There's a few of you in the gang. There's 7 children. Where do you fit?
Yeah, that's me and my sister.
Which one are you?
The blonde one.
They're both blonde. Duh.
I'm the second. I'm the little one.
You're the littlest
one. So I was the
okay.
second child.
You're second of 7?
Yes, yeah.
And only girls, or are there 5?
Then there were 4 boys.
That's 6, and then a girl that's a baby.
Yeah,
wow.
That's right, yeah.
And how many years do they span? Like how...
Okay, yeah.
Mum's... Your eldest sister was the first?
Yes, and it's 19 years.
My goodness.
Yeah, I know.
She was a tough girl, your mum.
Was pretty amazing, yeah.
She would have been.
Yeah.
And you lived in Adelaide, but also in Loxton.
Yes, yeah. Rajiv, if you could... Yeah. So,
please.
Sorry.
Hello.
I found that because most people here know I love to dance.
Well, that's clear from that shot, isn't it? And you love to dress up.
And dress up. So that was me tap dancing at about
Beautiful.
6 or 7. So I just
Now,
thought I'd throw that in.
is this where the urge to go to the stage? Because I know
yeah.
as a young woman, you had stars in your eyes, didn't you?
I did.
You wanted to be...
Yeah.
Who was your idol?
A Hollywood actress. Well, anybody who was my age, so people like, at the time, Jodie Foster and, I just idolised all the young teenage stars. And I was thinking about this last night and I thought I must have been a very insecure teenager to have such big stars in my eyes. And, of course...
I don't know. I think it indicates a certain confidence to think that you could step out of Loxton wearing that costume and land in Hollywood. I think that'd be a marvellous ambition to have. No, you're very focused there.
So we moved to Loxton.
Why did you go there? Was that Dad's work?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, that's all right. We'll get to this one.
Oh, yeah. That's just a photo of me at school in the music group. So, dance, music.
So this is at Mary MacKillop College.
Mary MacKillop College. Yeah, that's the music club.
And where are you there?
No, I'm not telling. Can we change the photo, please?
Okay, can we have a vote? I reckon she's down here on the left.
Oh, there I am.
Yes.
There I am. Yeah.
Spotted.
Yeah, well done.
So Mary MacKillop College, so obviously the family was Catholic.
Yes.
Did you ever have any sense of being unwelcome as your surname's unusual?
Yeah.
And Mary MacKillop would have been a very multicultural school, I would imagine. But did you and your siblings ever suffer that sense of being unwelcome, or are you of a young enough generation that Australians were more accepting by then?
Yeah, I'd never felt unwelcome.
Good.
Never. And
your dad?
Dad, yes.
He would have copped all that awful woggy.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
yeah. But I never did. And in fact, I thought I was the outsider. The only reason I thought I was an outsider was because most of the girls were Italian.
Yes.
and
you were blonde.
Yeah, and I was blonde.
And you didn't have an Italian name.
And I didn't have an Italian name.
No.
But they were beautiful, all of them. I loved the
so
school.
You also at one stage thought you might like to do law.
Yes, totally foolish idea because when you leave school you have to nominate which university courses you want to do. You can change that picture, Rajiv. And I knew I wasn't going to get the points because my family moved to Loxton when I was doing Year 12. And I was a bit upset with my parents for pulling me out and, for that unsettling time. It was okay, really. But as a teenager, so...
Is this why we went to Loxton to run the Kingsway Roadhouse?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So we all had for the first time, it had a motel on the top of it that was no longer working. So we all had our own motel rooms as bedrooms.
Oh, wow.
For the first time, all 6 of us. And then my mum had the 7th when we moved to Loxton. And we had 24/7 food downstairs and 24/7 petrol because it was petrol, takeaway food, cafe, motel at the top.
Your proper roadhouse. Did you have
proper roadhouse
in the motel rooms? Did you have the little hatch where they used to serve breakfast through?
No.
I was fascinated by those as a child. I reckon we're similar age, or you're probably younger, but I was always fascinated by the fact that the wheat bix would come through the hatch as if by magic in the morning. You never saw who shoved it through the hatch.
Yeah, no, but we all had our own little sink.
Yes.
In our room.
And your kettle?
And a kettle and all those sorts of things.
So how long were you in Loxton?
Well, Mum and I was 15, 16 when moved to Loxton, finished school here and went up there for a couple of years and then came back to Adelaide. So on and off throughout my life, Loxton is and still is my second home.
So Mum and Dad stayed up there?
Yeah. They did.
Mum and Dad still alive?
No. They worked too hard. Yeah, they really did.
Had 7 kids.
And ran a business 24/7, and after that, many other businesses. And I think it certainly helped me to develop a work ethic, but I also realised the work-life balance you have to have. And so both Mum and Dad died in their 60s.
Oh, that's too sad.
Yeah.
Too early.
Too early, yeah.
So what took you to nursing?
Well,
from
I think
law, it's a
Yeah, I
bit of
know.
a stretch, isn't it? From the tap dancing and wanting to be
Yeah.
a lawyer,
Yeah.
and you ended up as a nurse. Oh, look
Yeah,
at the
that's right.
family!
Oh, there we are. There we are in Loxton.
look
That's
at
all my
you.
brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
mum
is
and
that
dad.
the seventh one down the bottom?
No, that's the first grandchild.
First grandchild.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Look at your
yeah.
mother.
I know.
What a
In her
beautiful
Hawaii
woman.
dress. She'd just been to Hawaii.
Oh.
Yeah, on holiday.
And
yeah.
Dad looks
yeah.
very handsome as well.
Yeah,
And 1, 2,
yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
7
Oh,
of
and
you.
that's Tim, my brother-in-law, in the back there. Are we
Right.
all there? Yeah, one,
I-
two,
I think
three,
you're
four.
missing one
Actually,
there.
we are missing one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hard to keep track when there's
Lotsy
7.
missing. Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah, I know.
So, out went the film actress,
Okay,
off
out-
went law, and you
off
went
went-
and trained where? At
in-
the Royal Adelaide? Or at
Queen,
Loxton?
Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
Queen
I worked
Elizabeth?
at the nursing home in Loxton first, so in between serving at the Kingsway Roadhouse and thinking, well, I better get another job, a proper job. And then from there I got into nursing at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Did that for about a year, missed home too much, so I went back to Loxton and helped Mum and Dad open up a couple of other businesses there. And met somebody, got married. And
Said yes.
Yes, said yes. This is
Oh,
yeah.
Dad ran
So-
a pizza shop.
Yeah, pizza was So we had to get the motel and the big house to fit us all in, and we had to get a pizza bar to feed us all. So
Wow.
this was the Loxton Pizza Bar, which my family still own.
Wow.
Yeah, so this
Good on
would have
them.
been taken 30 years ago. Yeah,
Right.
the
So,
big,
and they were big pizzas.
pretty big pizzas.
That's
yeah.
your family size right
That's
there, I
right.
reckon.
Yeah.
So you met someone, fell in love, married someone,
Married someone.
got your Bachelor of...
came to Bachelor of International Business.
Yes.
Came to Adelaide. So I went nursing,
Yes.
finished my nursing at the then Children's Hospital,
Yep.
Women's and Children's Hospital, and worked there for a number of years. Divorced my husband at the time and went on and did another change of career. So it's not just the young ones today that want to change careers. So I went to Flinders University and did a Bachelor of International Business, which I really loved.
Had you had your daughter by this stage?
Yes. So while I was at uni,
Oh, my
I
Lord,
had a baby.
look at her.
And there she is, Annie. Yeah,
And how old's she now?
23.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So she was and still is the joy and love of my life.
Fantastic.
she's
So what's she
beautiful.
doing at 23? Is she doing what Mum did? Does she want to go to Hollywood? Or?
No. She's an athlete.
Right. In
Xavier's here too. So she started off trampolining. She
Yes.
was a national trampoline champion at 10 years of age.
Goodness.
How funny is that? But they start early with gymnastics. And then she went on to netball and basketball and went to the US on a basketball scholarship, played in nationals here. And now she's a footballer.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So
She's like Mum.
Yeah.
Moves around.
That's right. And so she plays for the inaugural SANFL
Women's
competition with the Eagles. And last year was the first year the women started playing there in that competition. So she's now in her second
Now, which
second
one's she
season.
there? On the right?
On the right.
Yes.
With the
Don't say with the jeans on.
no, or with the So
With the black sign.
Yeah. So while I never, kids sort of like to be their own independent people, and I tried to get her to do all the Rotary things, and no, mum, too busy with the sport and everything. Well, here she is now at 23 years of age, and I'm so proud of her at the Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
Rally and doing these things without any pressure from me, but I guess just
Watching her
observing
mum.
and watching and the people that I associate with.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, and she now works. She did a Bachelor of Psychology. She did honours and majoring in criminology, and she's now working in the sentencing unit for
Fantastic.
corrections, and she's the home detention person. So
Right.
yes, and
At 23. A very accomplished young woman.
Yeah. So,
Good on
and there
her.
she is. Yep, for Woodville, West Torrens. Yeah,
Fantastic.
The Eagles. Yep.
And she goes for the Crows, does she? I see
goes
Tommy
for the
Lynch
Crows.
is her favourite player.
Yes, yep. Now, I
Okay.
don't know if this one was...
And she's always hungry.
And she's always hungry.
Okay,
It's
well,
like having a
probably
son.
running around so much, she
Yes,
needs to
yep.
be hungry.
Yeah.
So she's the special person in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been another special person?
Well, there has
new
been...
special person?
There.
Is there anyone else in your life? Do you have a fluffy dog?
Oh,
There you are at work at the
that's me
education
at work.
department.
I just thought I'd put in a... Yeah, I do have a day job. Well, yes, and for a lot of people, they know me... They probably haven't met my partners or whatever, but I want to introduce you to somebody. Yes, I have... I think I've even put a photo of him up.
There he is.
Yeah. This is Lex.
And he's a sax player.
He's a sax player. So my music has come back to me.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And we only just met in January.
Fantastic.
So we've had a COVID romance. And...
we don't want all the details.
no,
but
and hopefully you'll all get to meet him.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
congratulations. That's a
Yeah.
lovely development in 2020. Yes, big round of applause. Now, let's get on to Rotary, and this isn't one of your questions either, but it was one that struck me. It's a great time of change and flex at the moment in our community, and Rotary is a community organisation, and this club's been running for 97 years. It's the 100th year of Rotary that's just begun, and you were telling me before too that the three biggest clubs in Australia, Melbourne, Sydney and Adelaide, are the three biggest clubs, and each now has a woman president. And I just wondered what you think has kept Rotary relevant across a century, because there's been a lot of changes over 100 years, and we're in a real time of flex and change now. What is it about Rotary that you think has kept it valid? And how are you, as president of this club, aiming to keep it relevant and valid in the years coming up?
Well, first of all, I think one of the most important things about Rotary is the friendships and the focus on that. So it is about giving of oneself to others and the service. But the magical thing about Rotary, and I think which is why it survived so long, is that by focusing on connections and friendships, you actually are there to support one another, to actually get the job done. And I think that's what's kept Rotary relevant, and the fact that it's welcoming of all people. And women became part of Rotary 31 years ago. And our club's first female member came in at about 28 years ago, I suppose. And that was Camry Murray, who was a judge, first female judge in some area within our judicial system. So it took a while for other women to come, but Rotary internationally is very aware that unless we do become more relevant and more diverse and continue to be inclusive, that we won't, that like all other good things, it may come to an end. So it's a really important part of being a president of a Rotary Club these days to make sure that we do remain relevant, we are inclusive, and we include all members of our community within our club. But I think, the strength of Rotary is its people. And when you look around this room, and that's always the thing that blew me away when I first joined Rotary, they're very humble people, and you often don't know who they really are until, you get to know them, or you do a Google search, or you look in your club directory, and to think that that somebody like me could become a member of this Rotary Club, I just found, pizza bar,
I think you're selling yourself just a tad short. But anyway, I know what you're saying. It's a very eclectic group of people and a very welcoming place and space for people who want to serve community.
Yes,
and
to
get to know
support
people.
one another. Yeah.
So you've got this new board.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What are your goals for the year ahead? Because you're going to be president for 1 year. You change every year.
That's right.
And we should acknowledge at this stage Adriano Sisternino, who you've followed on from. So great to have him and his son Xavier in the room, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So what are your goals and your board's goals for the next year?
Okay.
To go on a ship? No? That looks like a great outing on something like the One and All.
I know. Well, this is the One and All. This is one of the projects that I've been involved in Rotary. So, so this year, and with the help of Rotary International actually, to keep the clubs relevant, they've asked all clubs to develop a strategic plan or a new strategic plan. So that's my first goal, to get that strategic plan in place. And if you move through, just keep going, Rajiv. These are just some of the friendships and fun times I've had as a member of Rotary. So we're going to develop an action plan based on these 4 areas to increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, and increase our ability to adapt. Adapting is just crucial, and one of the amazing things about Rotary, and in particular our club, was that we had to adapt very quickly. And, Adriano did an amazing job as president when COVID hit. So to switch from weekly meetings very quickly, I think we only missed 2 Wednesday meetings, didn't we? And they were back on Zoom with, 60, 70 people attending. So while change can sometimes be hard, the COVID thing has really helped us to change quickly and realise that we can do it. So, this year we'll continue to bring business, professional and community leaders together to provide understanding, humanitarian service and peace to our beautiful city of Adelaide and to the world. And we'll do this by honouring our club's past and embracing our future, particularly as we move towards our club's 100-year anniversary in a few years. Paul Harris, the founder of Rotary, said he would like us, this was 115 years ago, to be innovating and even revolutionary to help solve issues. And we also want to grow our membership, but organically and sustainably, and to involve more stakeholders and partners within our organisation. So it's going to be an exciting year.
Fantastic. And there's a celebration of Rotary. Well, it's underway really, isn't it? Because the 100th year is underway. But next April, is there something special planned?
Yes. So a lot of the activities will be held in Melbourne. But our club is getting involved in a number of the projects, and one of them is our club is now a Peace Builder Club, a Rotarian Action Group for Peace Builders, and the Peace Builder Committee is working with schools to go out and they're called peace poles. So our club would donate peace poles to schools who attend Canberra on an excursion. The grade 7s often go on excursions to Canberra, and while they're in Canberra they visit the Rotary Peace Bell. So those schools that go to the Rotary Peace Bell from Adelaide will then go to them and do a little ceremony and talk about peace, and plant a peace pole in their school.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And we'll also have a big event to celebrate. We'll have a dinner or something. Somebody's got to organise that,
after COVID.
Yeah.
It sounds like a busy role for a volunteer president who's got a full-time job that she's passionate about at the Education Department as well, but not surprisingly that is a role that is involved in community and volunteering and engagement as well, so it'll probably fit together very nicely.
Yeah.
Now, Mark's lurking, but I was going to allow a couple of questions. If anybody had something that we haven't touched on that you want to know from Heidi, feel free to ask. Or have we given you enough information? We've let the cat out of the bag about the sexy saxophonist, so that's underway. You'll be tap dancing pretty well by the end of the year, my girl, I reckon. So thank you for sharing that, and that is a wonderful quotation you've got up there.
It is. So if we're not happy, if we are not peaceful, we cannot share peace and happiness with others, even those we love, those who live under the same roof. If we are peaceful, if we are happy, we can smile and blossom like a flower, and everyone in our family our entire society will benefit from our peace. And I put that up there because, first but foremost, we need to look after each other and our members, and particularly during this time where there's a lot of stress on many of our members, health-wise there could be as well. We've been very lucky here in South Australia, I know, but still a lot of businesses and people's workplaces have significantly changed. So we need... that's something I really want to focus on, and that's to look after our own members before we can go out there and serve the rest of the community.
A great message to finish on. Thank you very much, Heidi, for sharing so much of your life with us. Would you please thank Heidi for her generous spirit?
Thank you, Jane.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
What a delightful conversation that we've had the privilege of listening to during this time. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of time for Heidi to strum the guitar for us, but maybe she'll do that in another meeting. Jane, thank you for such a delightful interview. It's been a joy to have you here today. We would like to thank you by presenting you with a certificate of appreciation. It is a donation being made on your behalf to the Rotary Foundation to mitigate and contain the COVID-19 pandemic and to support efforts to eradicate polio worldwide.
That's fantastic, thank you. And I fully endorse those efforts and wish you all power with that, because we're lucky not to have polio in Australia, let alone, well, a little bit, but not much really.
Yes.
So it's great if it's eradicated worldwide.
Thank you. And Jane, we'd like to invite you back sometime to hear about some of the other work you do, maybe with the arts group
By all
and
means,
everything. So
yeah.
we would love to have you and hear your story and what you've been doing as well.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be happy to come back at another time. Thank you.
No worries,
That's
thank
lovely.
you.